Hello friends, I welcome you on our channel where we will try to sew different lingerie and swimwear patterns and other things. And in this tutorial we will do today the wedding bustier with soft cups. I called it the wedding one because I used the white lace and added some white ribbons to create the look of the wedding bustier, but you can use different types of lace and create the everyday bustier. For example, here you can see another bustier that I made based on this pattern. It's made from the cream and gold lace with light pink color channels. So as you can see, bustier can be not only from the white fabric. In our video we will use mesh, special lingerie mesh, to make our lingerie stable, lace, different types of elastic for the shoulders and for the edges of the bustier. We are using the matching color, so all will be the white color. Also we'll use the clip with 3 hooks, the underbra wires to hold the bust, and the wire tunnels where we will put these wires inside, and also the frame for our elastic. And exactly in this video I will use velvet ribbon to create the channels for our bustier, but you can use the tunnels that we will use for the bra. Right now we have to copy our pattern to the mesh. As you can see, I have pinned it, and you have to check where your mesh gives you more stretch, and this stretchable effect should go from top to bottom. So as you can see, I'm cutting now patterns from the mesh, and suppose that strongest part of this mesh comes to the fabric from left to right or from right to the left. And if it has some stretch, because some meshes they have stretch, it goes from up to bottom. Or you can use the corset mesh that doesn't have any stretchable effect, and then you can cut it in any direction. So I have to cut all the pattern pieces from the mesh, and it will add more stability to our bustier. And also we will do same, we will cut again same patterns from the lace, and the lace will give us this beautiful wedding effect to our lingerie. I also forget to tell you that we will use the corset boning, but you will see it in the video. We will use a little bit, no more than 1 meter of the corset boning to add the stability and structure to our bustier. Right now we will do same pattern cutting from the lace, and since our lace has repeated embroidery, I am putting them lace together so the pattern should match each other. Both sides of the lace should match each other, so then in your lingerie the pattern will look much better. I mean the lace pattern, not the pattern of the bustier. We already have 5 millimeters seam allowance in the pattern, so you have no need to make it yourself. You just need to cut it. In my video you have seen that I was showing you short clip with hooks. It's about 5.5 centimeters length, but if you have the hooks on the ribbon that you can cut any length, then you can make the high back, not like I did. I cut a piece from the back pattern to make my clip fits inside. But if you have this ribbon clips on the ribbon, or you have a very wide clip, then you can cut your pattern covering the whole back, and it will be the same size as your front panel of the bustier, so same will be the back side. So it depends on you, and depends on the materials that you have managed to find. Now we are cutting all our patterns from the fabric, from the lace fabric, and after that we will start sewing. So now when our pattern cutting is done, now we have to put our mesh pieces and our lace pieces together, because as I told, the mesh will add us more stability and structure to the bustier, but we will sew them like they are the one piece, so we have to put them on each other and pin them very carefully with pins, so that our mesh or our lace parts, they will not move and will be stable. And also we will add channels to our bustier from the front side, so all the sewing we will do face to face, so not from the wrong side but from the right side, because we will cover it with the velvet ribbon that we will use as a channel. So right now we have to pin all our pieces. The only soft cup pieces we will pin not wrong side to wrong side, but we will pin face to face, because all the seams in our soft cups will be inside the cup, not outside like on the bustier body. So please pay attention, do not pin your cups in the wrong way, otherwise you will have to also to hide the seams with additional with additional bone channels or additional velvet channels to hide the wrong seams. Okay, now we will start sewing. We are taking our velvet ribbon and putting it in the center of our front panel of the bustier, pin it, and we'll do stitches to fix our velvet ribbon on its place. Velvet ribbon size is 10 millimeters wide, so we are stitching it 1 or 2 millimeters from the edge of the ribbon to make our 5 millimeter bone to fit in this channel. So do not put stitch in the middle of our velvet ribbon, because otherwise we will have no possibility to fit our bone inside. We are stitching only on the edges of our velvet channel. So now we have to match wrong side to wrong side, our front part and side front part of the bustier, and after doing each sewing, each stitching, we are going to press. I'm not making here a video of how we are pressing, but after adding each new pattern piece. Before it, we are doing pressing to make our seams beautiful. So we again put in the stitch on the seam allowance. It's 1/2 centimeter. As you can see, we are putting it front to front, and now we will add our velvet ribbon. We are putting the edge of the velvet ribbon to the edge of our newly made seam, and again putting the seam over the velvet ribbon through the first seam that we are done joining our two pieces together. After that, we have to cut the extensions of our seam allowance, because they will be, sometimes they can be seen through our velvet ribbon, so we are cutting them. Not much, but you can cut 2-3 millimeters. And after that, we are stitching our velvet ribbon to the other part, and when you stitch, you have to pull a lot the pieces of the pattern to make your fabric absolutely straight. And again, after each stitching, we do the pressing. Now we are doing same with the back part of our bustier. Again, we are pinning wrong side to wrong side, and we will put stitch. We'll put the seam on the front side of our bustier. You can do same things with from the wrong side, but then all your seam allowances and you will be on the wrong side, and your tunnels for the bones also should be stitched to the wrong side. So from the front side there will be only seams, not the channels itself. I'm making them on the front side, that's why I'm putting all the seams to the front side. Again, we put a stitch, and after we pressed again, we are putting the velvet ribbon. Again, we are putting the edge of the velvet ribbon to the edge of the seam, and again we are putting one fresh seam over the velvet ribbon and the seam that joins two parts. And in this way we are stitching all the body of our bustier. We are not touching cups, only the bustier main part will be done like this. Okay, now we are turning to our cups, and as you can see, we are putting our cups face to face, and we will put all the seams on the wrong side, because we will turn our cups upside down and we will hide all the seams inside between our layers. We have 2 layers. Now we are putting ½ centimeter stitch on the lace where it's written the lace border, because we will not have any lace borders here, but I want to hide the seams inside, so I am just sewing together 2 parts of the soft cup, the mesh and the lace. So I'm done, and now when my upper part is fixed, now I can put stitches on the sides of my soft cups to make them look like cups. So again, we are pinning the parts of the pattern, and ½ centimeter seam allowance will be stitched on both parts. We will do same with the other part, and in this way both seams will be on the same on the right sides, and when we will join them, they will cover the seam allowances. So right now we are turning our cup to the right side, and we are pinning all the parts to make our cup to make our cup normal, and to fix all the edges and all the seams that should be fixed. So same with the seam allowance that we have sewn, I'm pinning them with the pins to keep them, to make them look on the right side. I'm pinning the seams to the center of the future bustier. Now joining the seams, and as you can see, all the edges sits on the places where they should be. So it means that we have done everything correctly, and we cut the pattern correctly, and all the seams were sewn on correct places. And also in this way, all the seams will be inside your cups, and they will not scratch or damage the body of your client or your body, and you have no need to cover also that seams anyhow with any ribbons or any tunnels, because they all warped inside between the layers. I'm pinning the cup from all parts, because in this way, since the fabric is very light, the lace and the mesh, they will not move. And now I'm putting the fixing stitch on the edge of the cup, on the lower edge, because with this stitch our cup will not stretch. Since we cut it on a bias, this cup, it can give, the fabric can give its natural stretch, and we don't want this, because we need our cup to fit exactly in the place where it should be in our bustier place. And with this fixing stitch, our fabric will not stretch. I advise you to use this hint how to prevent your fabric, if it's cut on a bias, from the natural stretch. I always try to put this fixing stitches. And now we are putting the stitch, also it's a fixing stitch, on the top of our cup to make our layers sit together. Okay, so first cup is ready. Now we'll do same with the second cup in the same way. I will remind you again that all the things with the cup we are doing only on the wrong side, because we want to hide all the seams inside our cup between the layers. So all the sewing and all the stitches are done on the wrong side of the fabric. again fixing stitch to the second cup. And now we will place our cup on the bustier. I do the same fixing stitch on the place where our cup should be sit, on the bed of our cup, also to prevent this bed from stretching, because it has the same bias stretch problem as a cup. So same thing with the second cup, and this will help us to place our cup correctly, and we'll have no problems with stretched body or stretched cup where there are extensions that should be cut from to make our bustier normal. So right now we will clean the top of our bustier. As you can see, I'm pinning the velvet ribbon 1 centimeter wide. I will just turn this ribbon twice, and 1/2 centimeter will be the decoration for our bustier. So I'm putting a stitch 1 centimeter from the edge. Now I will cut this extension to 1/2, and now I will turn my bias tape on 1/2 centimeter from the other side, and again I will put the fixing stitch. And since the edges of the velvet ribbon will be on the same level, my second stitch will be the same place where the first stitch, and it will be rather clean work. So we have fixed. Now we can put cups inside our bustier. I am pinning first edge to edge of the front part of the cup, and now doing 3-4 millimeters pinning. I am pinning all the cup to the body of the bustier. The seams from the cup and the seams from the body of the bustier should not always match, so do not worry if the seam in your cup it doesn't match and doesn't continue by the seam in the bustier. Exactly in this pattern it's not important, and it was not constructed for this. Only the edges, the start edge and the end edge of your cup, they should match the bustier. So your cup should lay exactly in the bed of the bustier. So we have pinned it. Now we will put the fixing stitch 1/2 centimeter from the edge inside our cup, exactly from the cup side, not from the bustier side but from the cup side, and also try to spread the extension of the fabric between the cup and the bustier, because you can accidentally stitch it and it will have very unpleasant view. So your fabric should be absolutely straight, so please do very careful stitches and do not rush. So start and stop 3, 4, 10 times, but be careful and make your sewing and stitching very careful. So see, we have done already, our cup has a form. Now we will add the channel for our bone, underwire bone. We'll do the same thing as we did with the velvet ribbon. We will put the edge of the tunnel to the stitch that we have done to our cup, and we'll do the same stitch but through the tunnel. So the stitches should match each other, and there, if you will look from the other side of the seam allowance, you will see that there should be one stitch. Keep 3-4 millimeters from both edges. So start 3 millimeters from the start of your cup and finish 3-4 millimeters before the end of your cups, because we will put there elastics that will cover the tunnels. Now we again cutting the extensions of the seam allowance, and with our tunnels we will cover this seam allowance and they will not be seen. Now we are putting under the machine, and we are putting the stitch on the other side of the tunnel, but we'll also put stitch very carefully and spread your fabric, and also pull your fabric, the body of your bustier, pull a lot, so it should be absolutely straight, and there should be no extension fabrics inside your stitch. then your work will look clean. And also keep 2-3 millimeters start and stop stitch. So 2-3 millimeters you have to keep before the edge of your cup. So same thing we are doing with the second cup. And after that we will move to elastics. Okay, now we will add elastics to the side of our bustier and to the bottom. We are not putting any wires yet because they will make us problems in stitching. So right now we are working with the soft bustier. We are putting the zigzag stitch. It's number 4 if you're using Bernina machine, and number 6 if you're using Brother machine. It's a zigzag stitch made of 3 stitches on one side. And we are stretching a little bit our elastic. I usually stretch it 1 to 10, so from 10 centimeters elastic I'm making 11. And then your elastic will warp your body carefully. As you can see, we are stretching our elastic on the surface. Now we will cut this extension of the tunnel. We are sewing elastic to the front side, and after that we will turn it on the wrong side, and the elastic will be covered by our lace. So we are cutting the extension, and now we will do same, but only we will turn our elastic on the wrong side, but this stitch, same zigzag stitch, will be done from the front side. So we are turning stretching our elastic and putting the zigzag stitch, and also help your machine to pass the thick places like where the tunnels will be, because sometimes when we forget to cut the tunnels, they can be rather thick for your machine. And as you can see, the decorations of the elastic are seen a little bit from the wrong side of our bustier, but you can use absolutely straight and absolutely non-decorated elastic and they will not be seen. Here elastic should be seen, so we kept that triangle decoration. So here, see, the elastic turned to the other side. If we have any extensions, we now can cut them carefully under the elastic, but try not to damage the elastic itself. Cut very carefully. So now same things we will do with the other side. Also we will put elastic to the right side, stretch it a little bit and stitch it with the zigzag stitch. The length and the width of the zigzag stitch you choose yourself. I usually put 1 centimeter width of the zigzag, but it depends on the point of view. Some people like very rapid zigzag, some people like very poor zigzag, so it depends on you. Okay, so front elastics, side elastics are done. Now before making the elastics on the bottom side, we have to put our corset bones. We're using plastic bones. The width is 5 millimeter and the thickness is about 2 millimeter, but you can use less thick or more thick because the 1 centimeter channels will allow us to put more thick bones. I cut my bones depending on the length of the tunnels, but I cut them 1 centimeter less than the actual tunnel, because in that 1 centimeter on the bottom side of our bustier there will be elastic stitch. So not to break the machine, I have to make my bones 1 centimeter less, so machine will not stitch inside the bone. Also check your bones, they should fit correctly till the end of the tunnel. So check each bone whether it sits on its place, whether it's not moving or it's not tearing anything or making any holes. Now we are putting only the plastic bones in the body of the bustier, not the bra bones, only the plastic bones. Now we will put our elastic to the bottom part. In the same way, first we are stitching to the front side, on the front side, then we will turn our elastic and we will hide it on the back side. Since I have elastic with the decoration, I need to check the length because I have to cut it from my bobbin, otherwise I will not have the possibility to make the decoration correctly. And again we are stretching our elastic. As I told, I do stretch 1 to 10, so 10 centimeters elastic turns into 11, and it gives normal moderate elastic, but it also looks rather cute, not too stretchy. And since we have cut our bones 1 centimeter less than the actual bone tunnel, so we are easily will do stitching through the tunnels, and we will do not damage our machine when it will pass through the plastic bones, because sometimes it's very unpleasant and you can break the needle in your machine, and sometimes you can even break the machine. So please pay attention on this. Try to cut your bones less than the needed amount, since we have ½ centimeter seam allowance, and we will turn our elastic after it will be stitched. So that's why I cut 1 centimeter, ½ centimeter, then again ½ centimeter. Now we are cutting all the extensions, all the threads, anything that you find annoying or unpleasant, because with the other turn we will hide all our fabric inside. Now turning the elastic to the wrong side, and we are putting again the zigzag stitch. All the elastics we are stitching only with the zigzag stitch. Now we are using the triple zigzag stitch. We are stitching our elastic to the bottom of our bustier. So now we have to add on the bra elastics and the clip at the end. I am measuring 7 centimeters from the edge of the bustier. There will be the bra elastic with the ring inside, and I'm measuring the width of our bustier, that place where we will put it on the back side, and also the needed length of the bustier, of the elastic that I want to use. I usually add 3/4 centimeters. So yes, it will be like this. You can see we are putting the ring inside. Now we are putting the zigzag stitch on a short stitch. It's a very rapid short stitch. In Bernina it's number 2, in Brother it's number 4. And try to make in your options, in your machine options, zigzag very rapid, maybe around ½ centimeter or maybe 3 millimeters. So it should be very rapid and very thick seam, so it will fix your ring on its place, and it will be very difficult to tear it. Same thing we are doing with another elastic. With this stitch we are fixing our ring inside the elastic, so it will not move and fell over the whole elastic ribbon. If you want, if you're not sure in your stop stitch, you can also add some knots. Sometimes I also tie knots if I want to be sure that everything sewed correctly. I will sew now this bra elastic to down elastic, to the down part and to the side part. Sometimes I also sew them only to the side part, but right now, since we have bustier, it's rather wide, I want to fix in few places. And with the same rapid zigzag stitch number 2 or number 4, if you have Brother machine, we are fixing our bra elastics through the elastics that we done in previous time. So not on lace, through lace we are fixing it, but through the elastic. Then it will be better, and it will be more stable because lace can be teared, and elastic is more strong and more secure. So we have done. Now we'll do same thing with the other side. I'm going 3-4 times with the zigzag stitch back and forth, so I want my elastic to be fixed very good. So now I have measured 45 centimeters of the elastic. It will be the elastic that comes to the cups. I am putting inside the frame. Fix it also with the rapid zigzag stitch. And as you can see, I put my elastic through the ring. The tail that close to me is absolutely free, and the tail that allocates on the other side is with the frame. Now I'm putting the tail through the frame, pull it, and now I will be able to change the length of my elastic, and the free part I will stitch also with the rapid zigzag stitch to the soft cup. I'm also stitching it two elastics that done on the cup, because as I told before, elastic will offer you more security to your stitches. If you will stitch it only to the lace, your lace can be teared very easily. And all the extensions I have to cut. You also can add more zigzag stitches additionally if you find it important to use. Same thing we are done with the other elastic. Now we have to sew the clip. Clip will sew also with this rapid zigzag stitch, and as you can see, my clip is a little bigger than I needed, so I can cut this clip, but also pay attention to cut it at least 2-3 millimeters from the hooks, because we will need space to put our zigzag stitch on the clip, because we will fix this clip fully with zigzag stitch, not only the place where we have to fix it with the bustier, but the whole clip, because then it will be more secure. And same rapid zigzag stitch, we are stitching the edges of the clip, and with the same gesture we are stitching the clip to the bustier. Here you can make 2-3 stitches back and forth to make your clip sit better and more secure in the bustier. And now again the last seam, and where comes from to the place where we have started. Of course, I advise you to adjust the pattern to the clip that you have, but sometimes in the process of sewing you will find out that your clip still is a little bigger than you made your pattern, or maybe you just added more elastics or more laces, so you always can cut it a little bit. Same, we are stitching the hooks to the clip. But the same way we are stitching all over the clip, and it will be secure. Now we need to add only the bra wires. We are putting it inside our tunnels, and we have to keep in the center of our bustier at least 1 centimeter free from the wire, because we will also add there the zigzag stitch, that it will be the fixing stitch. We will just cut the extensions of our tunnel so they will not be seen from the front side, and with this rapid zigzag stitch again we are fixing our wire channels so that our metallic wire will not appear from the channel. The other side, the front side, if your stitches will be seen, but it rarely happens, you can cover it with additional decoration. I decided to put ribbons, and also these ribbons, they work very good if you want to hide some mistakes or maybe some not pleasant stitches, so you can always add some decorations there, and it will cover all the disadvantages of your bustier. But believe me, with some experience and practice, you will have very little of these mistakes, or maybe you will only see that mistakes, no one else will. So our bustier is ready. You can try it, and if you change the materials, you can make different types of bustier. You can also change the place of the channels. You can make them from the wrong side or from the right side, as we did. You can make them in different colors and create lots of different bustier. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to our channel, and you will see lots of different tutorials very soon.